that before we jump into all the
Doom and
pessimism,
gloom.
yeah, welcome to anybody who's new. We are Michael and Hope, and we make up Leanstead, and we are full-time eBay resellers.
Mm-hmm.
Been at this for, I think we figured up 15 months or so, roughly. I can't believe that much time has passed,
Yep. Seems like yesterday.
that we were just trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Didn't even
Seems like we're still just trying to figure it out, huh? Sometimes.
We are.
We're figuring out a lot of things, and
We're figuring out a lot of things the hard way.
Our mission is to experience it for you, so
The
that you
hard
don't
way.
have to, and let us learn and figure it out, and then we'll share it.
Yeah. So don't take what we say as the gospel. This is definitely
don't.
yeah, it's definitely not the good news. But
We were watching a video. Well, first of all, I have a question for you. Has anybody experienced getting charges or credits on shipping that are outside of what you initially paid? We had an issue several months ago where repeatedly we were just getting a random message, an email from eBay saying, we've adjusted your account for a shipping, I forget what the word was. Discrepancy. But basically, first we were getting like charged an extra 75 cents or $1 or something, and then we would get a random credit back of $3. And so I was curious and trying to figure out what was going on. I could not figure it out. So I talked to the clerk at the post office. And I said, at what point, because the reasoning was the original weight recorded did not match what the post office had. So when I went to the post office, I asked the clerk, at what point does this get scanned and it's considered the official weight that the post office has? And she's really did not know. She couldn't confirm what weight it was because, and I think she was a relatively new clerk, but I think this could be true of anybody, is that they have the mindset that when they scan the package, because we have a label already on there, and the weight that we record is what is on the postage, the shipping label. So they scan that, and they think that weight is what gets recorded. And so I accepted that. I said, oh, okay, well, maybe the issue is my scale was wrong or something. So it made me question. I came home, I changed the batteries and my scale.
we ended up getting a new scale.
Got a new scale, tried to be super careful, tried to round up. I talked to the USPS customer service people and asked them. And they told me how to adjust the weight and bump it up or down or whatever. And then it happened again. So I pulled out my receipts for the days that they were claiming that I printed out my adjustments. And so I had here's a whole page full. So it had been happening for months. And I started comparing the weight of the item that I recorded versus what the post office had recorded. Well, when I went back and found the original receipt on this particular item, I had recorded the item as being 12 ounces. So that's what I paid postage for. And then the post office claimed that the actual weight was 1 pound 9 ounces.
Big difference.
Big difference. And I got charged $2.36 for that. But there were several on that day. So when I went back and found the date and the receipt and looked at the item number and everything, the actual weight for that item that they scanned in was 1 pound 8.5 ounces, which the post office rounds up to 1 pound 9 ounces. But if I look at all the other things on all the other packages, they all weighed 1 pound 8.5 ounces. So that means what was happening is The clerk took the first package, scanned it, put it on the scale, and left it on the scale. Then picked up the other packages and scanned it, tossed it in the bin, picked up the next one, scanned it, tossed it in the bin. So that weight for that item or that package that was sitting on the scale is what got recorded for every package in there. So if I paid less than, postage on less than 1 pound 9 ounces, then I was coming up short. So I was getting charged for it.
Each one.
Each one. Or if it was a 3 pound package, I would get a credit back because it was scanned in as being 1 pound 8.5 ounces. So the next trip back to the post office, I spoke to the clerk about it again, and she argued with me. But then apparently afterwards, another clerk overheard the conversation and corrected her. So the next day that I went in, she said, "I apologize. I found out I was wrong and you were right." And I said, "I was just trying to find out how do I need to correct this? If I'm doing something wrong, let me know. But if it's because each item's not being scanned, then I want y'all to know that too, because y'all could lose money as well as make more money too." So I think this happens a lot because we were watching a video yesterday where someone else was talking about an issue that sounds like this is what was happening. So my encouragement is take your packages to the post office yourself and keep your paper receipt and make sure that each item is scanned and weighed individually. And since we've been doing that, I have not had a single additional charge or credit back.
Since the day that she said, "Nope, my bad," it hasn't happened.
Yeah. So I don't think that there's a conspiracy. I don't think the post office, I don't think eBay is trying to cheat people out of money. I think people are trying to do the least amount of work. We're all trying to work smarter and not harder. And so if someone can scan a bunch of packages and not have to weigh each one individually because in their mind they think the weight's already in the system, we could have problems. So,
yeah, I mean, this particular lady was always trying to encourage us to not get in line. She just wanted us to drop them off over on this counter over on the side, and when they got to it, And I'm like, "Nope, I want my receipt." And a lot of people don't.
They don't want to print the receipt out, first of all.
Yeah, so you have to say, "No, I want a copy of my receipt."
Swamp Vicar says they don't like to be corrected.
No, they don't.
They don't.
And we really went back and forth how to best handle it because we were like, "Oh, the last thing we want to do is make them mad." But in God's providence, there was a lady there. She knew.
Yeah.
And she took her aside, so it wasn't us that made it look bad.
No, and hopefully I handled it well because I just said, I'm not upset with you. I just wanted to know for sure what was going on, and I don't want to repeat any mistake that I may have. But when I realized what was going on, that meant the post office was either losing money or overcharging other people too. So we just want everybody to pay their fair share and nobody get cheated or feel like someone is being dishonest.